This is an easy hack-the-box Sherlock called Noted, and the scenario is that there's a developer called Simon who works at Forella, and he has notified the CERT team about a note that appeared on his desktop. The note claimed that his system has been compromised and that sensitive data was stolen. The perpetrators performed data extortion on his workstation and are now threatening to release that data on the dark web unless their demands are met. Simon's workstation obviously contained personal and confidential files like planned projects, etc. The threat intelligence team believes that the threat actor made some mistakes, but they have not found any way to contact the threat actors. The company's stakeholders are insisting that the incident be resolved and all sensitive data be recovered. As a junior security analyst, which is what we are in this scenario, we have been assigned a DFIR task to investigate the case. The CERT lead has provided us with Notepad++ artifacts, suspecting that the attacker created the extortion note and conducted other activities with hands-on keyboard access. So let's start an investigation. Okay, let's download the case files. It's a 7 KB file, so it doesn't take too long to download. And the password for the zip file, if I'm not wrong, is hacktheblue. Yeah, there you go, hacktheblue. It always is hacktheblue. So let's open the downloads folder and extract the zip file. I'll extract it right here. So right click, WinRAR, and extract here. I know I copied the password, but I'm going to type it in. Hacktheblue and hit OK. Right, so let's open the directory. There's a lot of folders inside. Right, so these are the Notepad++ artifacts. There's another directory. There are 2 text files here. I think this one looks like the ransom note, and this is I don't know what that is. Okay, let's go back. So I did a little bit of research before the video. Config.xml stores configuration, Notepad++ configuration, and session stores session details, and both of these are XML files. So let's dive right in. Let's look at the first question. What is the full path of the script used by Simon for AWS operations? This will most likely be stored in the config file, because Notepad++ saves information about recently interacted files or anything that you opened recently. As you can see immediately, there's 4 or 5 different file names here. I think one of these will be the answer, but let me quickly scroll down to see to make sure I'm not missing anything important. Yeah, right, so there's 5 file names here with the whole file path, and immediately the last one looks like it's going to be the answer because it has AWS in its file name. So I'm going to paste this and try. So let's copy the whole file path. Yeah, and paste that into the box and hit submit. Yep, that was accepted, so that's the right answer. The second question is, the attacker duplicated some program code and compiled it on the system, knowing the victim was a software engineer and had all the necessary utilities. They did this to blend into the environment and didn't bring any tools. This code gathered sensitive data and prepared it for exfiltration. What is the full path? Okay, right, so this would also, since this was it sounds like okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, none of these. Maybe something here is the answer, but I don't think the answer is in this file here. I probably would have to examine the session.xml file because that would hold session information in it, and it looked like they used an editor to write the code and compile it. So if I open this text file, this is the ransom note. Not expecting any answers here. This loot and purge Java looks like the program source code. Yeah, so this is the source code that I think was used, but we need the file path, and that would be stored in session.xml. So as you can see, there's 2 files, file details, and the first one here is the source code that we just saw. So C user Simon Stark desktop loot and purge Java. That is probably the file path of that source code. So let me try that. Let me copy the full file path and paste that here. And yep, that was accepted. Right, so let's move on to the next question. What's the name of the final archive file containing all the data to be exfiltrated? This should be easy. The same source code here. This function, based on the name of the function, sensitive valid data extort, I think this is the function that's extorting data. And there's a file, there's a line right here, which is used to create the zip file, and this is the name of the zip file. So let me copy that. It looks like it's going to extort data, create a zip file with this name, and then do whatever with that. So I'm convinced this is the name of the file. So let me copy and paste it here, and that flag was accepted as well. So moving on to the next question, what's the timestamp in UTC when an attacker last modified the program source file? Now, if you noticed in the same session.xml file, there were timestamps for the for that file. So one of those timestamps probably indicates the last time it was modified. So let me copy. Where did that go? Right. So there's one here. Original file last modified timestamp, and then this is original file last modified timestamp high. Now I don't know why there would be two different timestamps. I don't know what these timestamps mean, but this is the only timestamp in this file, so I think I'm heading in the right direction, but it's in a different format, so we need to convert this into UTC. So first let me copy the timestamps. So I'll copy this, and also let me copy let me actually copy the whole line. File stamp and file stamp high. Create a new text file. I'll put this into two separate lines, and yep, so we need to convert this into UTC format. This is probably in the Windows file time format, and I don't know how to do that, but we'll do some research.
One eternity later.
I had to pause recording because I went down a rabbit hole and it took way longer than I expected, but I finally figured out how to do this conversion. The timestamps that we just got were two 32-bit structures of the 64-bit file time timestamp, and the formula to get a 18-digit file time timestamp is this. And now that we know the formula and how to convert it, let's proceed with the video. We know the file time formula now, which is high into 2 raised to 32 plus 2 raised to 32 into low. The values are right here. High's value is this and low's value is this. 2 raised to 32 is, I've done the math, so let me copy the value to the document. So 2 raised to 32 will be whatever this number is. So now we can substitute all these values into the formula, and that should give us the 18-digit file time number. So I've done the math. This is what the formula will look like before I get the number, and this is the final number. If after doing the math, this is what you get. So let me copy this and paste that into an online converter. You can use any online converter. I'm just going to Google file time to UTC converter, and I'll open this epoch converter here, and I'll paste in the value that we just copied. Okay, so that as soon as you do that, you should get the UTC, the GMT timestamp, that is 24 July 2023, 9:53. So if I copy that and paste it in the text file, because it's expected in a certain format and I need to change that here. So let me copy the timestamp, and this would be 2024 07 24, and the 09:53:23 here. Okay, so now if I copy this and paste this into the flag box, answer box here, whoa, okay, right, so I see what I've done wrong. I need to change that to 2023 because it was 2023, and also I forgot a 0 here, so adding a 0 should be in the right format, and this should work now. Yep, there you go. Right, so this was a hard one, but yeah, we did finally manage to get it. So moving on to the next question. The attacker wrote a data extortion note after exfiltrating data. What is the crypto wallet address? Okay, so this should most likely be in the ransom note. So let's open the ransom note. I can't see any crypto wallet address here, but I do see 3 pastebin links, and I think it's going to be in one of these pastebin links. So let's copy the first pastebin link here. So this line here. Yep. So let me copy that and open that with Firefox. You can open it with any browser. So open that with Firefox. Let me get rid of these cookie notices and the password. Let me try hack the blue. And that's not worked. Right, so if you notice, we did see a password in one of the text files. Yeah, and in most of these CTFs, anytime you see a password, it's good practice to make a note of it because it may be used at a later stage. So let's go back to the text file here, and yeah, so there's a password right there. I'm gonna try using this password. If this doesn't work, then we can try something else, but let's try this first. So copy the password and then go back to the pastebin link. Let me refresh it and then paste that password, hit unlock, and that's worked. And I immediately see an Ethereum wallet address here, so I'm going to copy that. Yeah, it ends with an A. This also ends with an A, so this is the answer, most likely. I'm 90% sure. Let's go back to Hack the Box and paste it in, and that is the correct answer. The last question is, what's the email address of the person to contact? And I also see an email address here, so let's copy the email address and paste it here. This may not work in our first attempt because the last few characters are it's been redacted, and I think that's something pastebin does. Anytime it sees a darknet email address, it probably just redacts it, but most darknet domains end with a .onion. It ends with .onion, so that's probably what it's going to be. So I'm going to replace that, and it's exactly 6 characters, so it's mostly going to be .onion. So let me replace that with .onion in my answer and see if it works. So if I remove the last 6 characters, and type in .onion and hit submit, that's what. Right, I'll see you in the next video.